Welcome, everybody, to episode 15 of Dane Interviews. I'm obviously not Dane. I'm Scott.
And I'm Remy. What's up, guys? You guys know me from Remy's Roundtable. And I'm joined by Scott from the No New Friends podcast. Today, we are flipping the script and interviewing Dane.
That's right. Dane, of course, is the creator and owner of Big Beautiful Diz. But there's more to Dane than just Big Beautiful Diz, right, Remy?
Oh, dude, I gotta tell you, man, he makes all these awesome videos on his YouTube channel, but something happened today. Today, man, is his 4th anniversary of Big Beautiful Diz. Now, let's get to our interview, man. Hey, Dane, how you doing, man? First of all, Dane, happy 4th anniversary of your program, man. I'm excited. I'm glad that Scott and I are here with you tonight, interviewing you for Big Beautiful Diz. Now, let me ask you a question, man. How did you get started? Making your very own YouTube content, and what made you, follow this passion of making different, OG Disney videos on your YouTube channel?
Yeah, thanks, Remy. Thanks for the anniversary. Also, Remy, Scott, thank you for doing this. This is very weird for me because I haven't been interviewed a lot, and it's very weird to be interviewed on your own show. So,
thank you for picking us to do it. I'm very honored that of all the people, you called myself and Remy. So that's super exciting.
No problem. I knew you guys would do a great job, and you're already doing a great job. So, Remy, your question, very interesting. I got into old attractions, or I don't really want to talk about my early Disney fandom because that wasn't really old attraction stuff yet. But how I got into the
year.
Yeah, but the OG Disney stuff that started in late 2018. I went to Disney in November of 2018, and I got home, and for some reason, whenever I get home from the trip is when I start getting excited about Disney stuff, and I start looking stuff up. It's very strange because people usually do it before the trip, obviously. I'm usually after. So I started watching these videos, and they were Funkland videos, they were Disney Dan videos, they were TPM Vids videos, they were Bright Sun Films videos, and a lot of those were about stuff like Discovery Island, stuff like Horizons, all these older attractions that are no longer there. And it just fascinated me that this stuff was there, but it's no longer there. I'm a huge fan of looking at old home movies and stuff, just because it seems so distant, even though it's not. It seems like a different reality almost. So that mixed with old Disney stuff, it just fascinated me, and I wanted to know more and more and more. And one way to do that was to research, and I wanted to teach other people. So that's how that all really started.
That's so interesting because I know in knowing you, some of your favorite attractions are attractions that you never got to experience.
Yeah.
Most of them are. Yeah, most of them are.
And that's mind blowing to me. Horizons, the Wonders of Life Pavilion, to name a few.
No, Wonders is an interesting story. I forget if you guys have a question about that or not, but I'll answer that if it comes up later.
Okay. All right. And if it doesn't, we'll still ask it.
Yeah, probably.
So, you've got all these memories that you didn't get to actually experience. They're memories through YouTube or through other videos.
I have other people's memories, yeah.
You have other people's memories. I mean, I experience the Miller family all the time when I'm watching old YouTube videos of the parks. But what's your favorite in-person memory of Disney?
There's a lot. I think I told this when I was interviewed by Joe once, but Joe from Diz. I think I told him this once. I think that was the only time I've told this publicly. Once we were in Hollywood Studios, which is my favorite park. This is one of the reasons. And we were at the Magic of Disney Animation, the old an animation courtyard, the old animation building, and they used to have meet and greets in there. Like they would have Frozone and Mr. Incredible. I think they had Pocahontas in there once. They would have the newest Disney movies. So like I think the newest one was Big Hero 6 at the time. So they had like Baymax and Hero. But they also had Miko. The what is he supposed to be, like a raccoon or something?
Yeah.
Raccoon from Pocahontas. And he was going back into the dressing room. And he walked right past us, and my dad is not the biggest Disney fan. Not like, you or me or you guys. Even my mom. I mean, he's just not that. He likes it. He likes going. He loves it once he gets there, but he's not the kind of guy that will look at stuff, and you know what I mean? So Miko comes past us, and Dad extends his hand, gives him a high five, and Dad yells, "Hi, Rafiki."
Oh no!
Whoa!
Oh, no.
Wow!
It was the funniest moment and the most embarrassing moment.
Yeah, Dad, come on, man, you're embarrassing me.
Come on,
I felt not
jeez.
embarrassing me. I felt bad for Miko, because like, what is he gonna do? I mean,
Yeah. He's gonna employee assistance program. 1-800 number. All employees get it.
Why did you call me by the wrong name?
Yeah. Also, one time I was on a Disney cruise and I saw Captain Mickey just walking down the hallway, and he gave me a high five and just kept walking. I was a very little kid. I was 11. So that was pretty special. There's so many favorite memories. Jeez, it's not enough time.
Yeah, that's right. Do you have a favorite attraction that you, every time you come to the Disney theme parks, do you go to your favorite theme park when you step on Disney property?
My favorite attraction. It's either Flight of Passage or Rise of the Resistance. I mean, I say that Rise of the Resistance is the greatest ride Disney Imagineering has ever built.
Yes.
Duh.
But Flight is incredible. But you got rides like, People Mover and Carousel of Progress, which are not like the big e-ticket attractions, but like my channel name is named after Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow. So like, I obviously love Carousel of Progress. Probably
Disney does bad rides well. Like bad rides.
Yeah,
like Peter
boring
Pan is
rides.
a terrible ride, but it's so good. Small World, terrible ride,
exactly.
but it's a classic.
Yeah, probably my favorite ride to ride is probably Flight of Passage. I mean, it's just so great, and now I'm a huge Avatar fan as well, so that helps it even more. That's Flight of Passage after seeing Avatar is the number one ride that I'm most looking forward to. So I guess my answer would have to be that attraction.
Oh, nice. What's your second attraction if you had to pick?
People Mover. That's the second one I'm most looking forward to riding again. I rode it like probably 15 times last trip alone. So that's probably the one I'm most looking forward to riding. The second.
Dane, those are my two go-tos: Carousel of Progress and People Mover. Anytime I go to Magic Kingdom, which is very rare, I hit those two attractions without fail every single time.
They're great. Not only are they classics, but they're amazing.
Yeah, they are. And they're usually a short wait, and everybody else is at the mountains, and you can just get on the People Mover, 5-minute wait, no big deal.
Yeah.
So obviously you've got Big Beautiful Diz, you've got Dane Interviews, two fantastic channels.
Thank you.
I'm curious, did you have any other YouTube channels before Big Beautiful Diz, and what were they?
I did. I had one. the Big Beautiful Diz channel, if you go to the About section and you see when I joined YouTube, it says August 2013. So technically I've been on YouTube for 10 years, but Big Beautiful Diz has been 4. I registered the account in 2019, and I posted plush toy videos. It was me and a couple of my friends. We would play with the plush toys and we would make them like go on adventures, just like kids normally playing, but we unfortunately recorded it and posted it on YouTube. Like some character, like we had Mario, Sonic. Who else did we have? We had like this one cop puppet. Like, you know, I don't know the brand, but like they have like a chef. It's like it's like this human puppet, Muppet, I should say, but it's like a chef. One's like a firefighter. One's a cop. I don't know the brand. I'll throw a picture up of it like on the screen.
People.
close. But they were these I think one was like a princess or something. It was like a girl and it was a princess. But like, yeah, we would record us making these videos, and I did gaming. I had a gaming channel at one point. That was dreadful because I'm awful at video games. Unfortunately, though, they aren't available on YouTube anymore.
That was my next question. Do you still have the interviews or the videos though?
That's true.
It is the biggest regret of my life. I deleted all the videos off of that.
No,
I deleted the videos, and I can't find them on my computer anywhere. So I don't know where they are. They're lost media, so if anybody wants to go on the lost media wiki and try to find them, please do. But I've searched and I cannot find them. I do remember the last time that I watched them was 2018 when I made Big Beautiful Diz, or 2019. And I do remember still being impressed with them. I still remember the commentary being good on the like video game videos, and I remember the plush toy videos actually being decent for being plush toy videos. So I don't know. I hope I find them. I don't know if it's going to happen, but hopefully I do. And if I do, it's going on Patreon.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah.
So the ones I just pulled up, I mean, I'm looking at one right now, and the ones that I typed in firefighter puppet plush, and it came out to be Elmo in a fire suit, Kermit in a fire suit, and the last one I saw was a cartoon fireman Sam, and those were the ones that just popped up on on Google, and I'm like, this can't be right. Is this the one that Dane is actually talking about, or is this completely something different?
I think it might be. I completely forget the brand name, but I'll find a picture of it. I'll put a picture of it somewhere.
So let's talk about one thing that actually came to my mind, and that is, Dane, you had such amazing guests on your program for Dane interviews. Mm-hmm. So you gotta tell me, man, who were your top great interviews and who were some of your worst interviews?
You don't make him say the
worst. I can't say worst. I can't say worst.
Remy, you were the worst interview. There you go.
Yeah,
Remy's actually in the top 5 episodes.
I know you've told me that off air before. You've told me that.
But I can't say worst. But so the top 5, I do have the list. By the way, the puppet company are called Melissa and Doug Puppets.
Oh.
But I do have the list that I sent Scott. But the best interview that I've done is the Pete interview, Pete Warner.
Of course, the Pete Warner interview, yeah.
The second one is my second favorite is actually No New Friends.
Hello.
That was a lot of fun.
It was
we had so much fun doing that interview,
dude. That's like favorite ones to listen to over and over. So it's a really well done interview.
Thank you. Number 3 is Jeff Davis. Jeff Davis is an inspiration to me on creating content, so it was cool to be able to interview him. Number 4 is Remy. I love that conversation. We got into a lot of good stuff in that conversation. So, and then number 5 is Rob from Midway to Main Street, because that was the first. That was in 2020 in summer, so that was before I interviewed Pete Warner, and it was like the first big interview that I've ever done. Because it was the first big interview I've ever done, it's not the greatest. I'm like nitpicky because it's me and I'm listening to myself. Like some of the transitions aren't that great, but the questions are. I do like the questions that I ask, but so yeah, with it being the first big interview that I've done, that's number 5. Yeah, so there's my list. There's my official ranking.
Now, when you were interviewing Pete Warner, how nervous were you? And was he nervous too? During the interview,
he was not. I don't think he was nervous.
Some of the guys interview, they get nervous. Like, what the heck?
If Pete Warner has talked to Tony Baxter and probably Marty Sklar, I don't think he was nervous talking to me. I was nervous. The most nerve-wracking thing when you interview a celebrity is when you open the studio for the first time. I don't get nervous writing the questions. I don't get nervous during the actual interview. It's when you open the studio and you're waiting for them to arrive. That's when I get nervous. And unfortunately, in the beginning of the interview, I was very, very, very nervous. But when you start getting into the conversation, it just starts to get more and more natural, and those nerves goes away. But so by the end of the interview, I was not nervous, but I was kind of nervous in the beginning. But the weird thing with when I interviewed Luke Spiller, who's like, is my idol, is my favorite, my member of my favorite band, the Struts. I was not nervous during that interview at all, strangely. But I guess it depends who I'm talking to, if I get nervous or not. I try to not to, so you don't want to look unprofessional.
Right. So Dane, I want to move away from some of the YouTube stuff for a little bit. You're a pretty good drummer.
Yeah, man.
Thank you.
How long have you been playing? Did you take lessons, self-taught? Tell me about your drumming.
I am self-taught. I've been playing since. Man, I've been playing since. I don't remember. No, well, way longer than that. Probably since I was in the womb. I remember the first pair of drumsticks that I got, actually. We were on a hike. I live in the woods. Very nice house in the woods. And we were on a hike, and my dad he had this stick, and he broke it in two. And he gave me the two sticks, and he said, hold on to those. When we get home, I want to show you something. And when we got home, he started teaching me like the very simple, like "We Will Rock You" patterns, like the
nice,
like those kind of stuff, and like the 1, 2, 3, like that kind of stuff. So I remember that, but I don't remember what age I was. I was probably like 2 or 3, maybe. And then we got a little electric kit, and I was 3 when we got that. So yeah, it must have been when I was 2 that I started first playing, because I have videos of when I was on that electric kit. I was playing full on
That's so
songs.
Cool.
So yeah, I've been playing for a very long time, and self-taught. Never took a lesson. I don't like lessons, so.
Hey, same here, man. I mean, I learn everything by ear, and then if I don't get it the right way, I'll be like, "Hey, Dad, can you just write this out for me real quick?" And he goes, "Sure, not a problem. Here you go. Just read this, and then you can play on your sax." I'm like, "Oh, cool." Now, how
Yeah,
about
I also don't play sheet music. I play by ear every time. I can't do sheet music, but if I would listen to a song right now and try to go down and play it on the drums, I probably could because I pick things up very quickly. I don't pick up schoolwork and assignments and like math concepts up quickly, but if you tell me to play a song, I could probably do it.
Well,
mean,
you're
it's
more artistic. Yeah,
Yeah.
I get it.
I mean, here's the thing, man. Like when I started playing drums, I started playing drums back in middle school. And back then I had to read music. And then when I got into high school, I switched off back and forth from drums to saxophone. So my drum major, he will pull me to the side and say, "Remy, one of the drummers is sick tonight. Can you cover and play the snare part?" I'm like, "Go, absolutely. Just let me know what we're playing." He goes, "Here's what we're playing." I can look at it like in 1 second. I'm like, "All right, done. I can pick it up right away." That is like hard. But my question is, what was the hardest drum cover you played? Like, what was the hardest drum
cover? I have to ask you this: drum cover that I've posted, or like hardest song that I know?
Oh, I'm saying like cover. Like you cover, like not even listening to the whole song, just the drum part by itself.
Well, the songs that I cover on the drums are not very hard because I don't want to mess them up. So I'll give you a cover, and then I'll give you just the song that I know how to play. That's the most difficult. The most difficult drum cover was probably the Food Rocks one, because that was the first one, and like there's a lot of pauses in there, and there's a lot of like fast song changes and stuff. So like that was pretty difficult. Another part of me was pretty difficult, but it was probably the Food Rocks one. Because that's multiple songs in one video. So that's what made it difficult. The hardest song that I know how to play is probably Fool in the Rain by Led Zeppelin.
That's a good tune.
It's a great song. I know how to play it sometimes. Like when I sit down to play it, I can either butcher it or I can play it kind of well. I also know how to play Tom Sawyer by Rush, but that actually comes pretty easy to me, so I can't say that that's difficult. My Hero by the Foo Fighters is difficult, which I'm actually covering that very soon.
Ooh.
So that would be added to the list of hardest drum covers.
I might have to give you one because it's a song that I listened to on the way to work today, and it's by a really good musician called his name is Peter Gabriel, and there's a song called Your Eyes, and the drum part in that song is just holy cow, like it's just a shaker, and you're like, okay, I can probably play this. It's an easy tune. It's a good song.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever heard that song. I have heard, I've heard Sledgehammer and stuff. I've heard other Peter Gabriel songs. I'm not sure about that one. I have to take a listen to that, because some of those stuff, some of the like the 80s stuff are all like drum machines. So they're really hard, except the ZZ Top stuff is like, it's really hard to play. Yeah, it's really hard to play.
Yep. But hey, I can't say no to electric, kids. Electric kits are fun to play on,
Oh yeah. Yeah, they are.
So I got a question I want to ask you, Dane, and that is, I'm going to talk about music real quick. Do you have a favorite genre of music that you can just listen to over and over?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Classic rock. No question about it.
Love me some classic rock.
I've been a Queen fan since I was 2 years old.
Love Queen.
Yep. Queen was my first favorite band. I remember watching live at Wembley, 1986 live at Wembley, when I'm like, when I'm this small,
right?
Pretending that I'm Freddie Mercury. I think I still have it. I used to have like a white cape.
Oh my god!
That I would that my parents made me, and I would watch the video, like the concert video, and I would pretend, because I had a very active imagination. That's what was we were talking earlier about my first YouTube videos or first YouTube channel. That's why I did that, because I had a very active imagination. And I would pretend like a kid does, I would pretend that I'm up on the stage and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's funny. My favorite band became Queen after the movie Wayne's World came out.
Really?
Because there's that scene
movie.
in the car where they play Bohemian Rhapsody, and it's so funny with that song because that song has kind of made Queen relevant throughout the generations, throughout the decades. Because
that's
I mean, they
that
performed in
song
the 80s.
that song has had three different lives. So if you think about it, when it was originally released, and then Wayne's World, and then when the Bohemian Rhapsody, when the Bohemian Rhapsody movie came out. So
yeah,
for technically, if you think about it, because like when it first came out was the 70s, and then the 80s, Queen was popular again because of Live Aid, and then so technically 4, but 3 main times that it's been.
Yeah, for sure.
It's had different.
Okay, so you are a drummer, and who would you want to sub in for? If they couldn't make it to the gig,
good question.
Who would you sub in for?
Oh man, this is really tough. Probably. Oh God. I mean, I would love to sub in for the Struts, because they're my favorite band, but I feel like that's an easy answer, so I'm gonna choose another one. Foo Fighters, because Taylor Hawkins was a major influence on me, or even Quiet Riot with Frankie Banali. I mean, those two shaped my drum playing. But probably Foo Fighters, because those songs are so much fun to play. So that would probably be my answer. I mean, my main influences are Frankie Banali from Quiet Riot, Roger Taylor, Stuart Copeland, Taylor Hawkins. I mean, Neil Peart. Probably Foo, but my answer would probably be Foo Fighters.
Okay, all right.
I did one time get pulled up on stage to play "We Will Rock You" with a band called Death Rocks. I'm now buddies with him, Danny.
That's really cool.
But he pulled me up, and I subbed in for the drummer for one song. But
that's amazing.
That is amazing.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was also cool because my friends and a couple of my buddies and my dad was there, so it was cool for him to see that. And so yeah, that was an awesome night. But that wasn't your question. So
that's my boy.
Yeah.
In addition to being a drummer, you're one would say a collector of obscurities, or maybe not obscurities, but collection. First of all, what's your biggest collection? Because you collect a lot of things.
Yeah.
My biggest collection is my Disney collection by far. But a second, the biggest collection is the Disney by far, because the collection of Disney stuff literally takes up half of my room, of my bedroom.
So here, let me go one further. Is there a subset of Disney stuff that's like your largest collection?
Yes. A subset of the Disney collection, probably the Funko Pops is the largest, either the books or the Funko Pops. I have a lot of VHS tapes, but I don't think I have more VHS tapes than I have books. So actually, I think the books are the largest.
And when did you start collecting? Is this another thing in the womb?
The Disney collection, actually I started collecting vinyl records when I was very young. I started collecting them with my dad when I was 10. And we still have that going. I think we're probably over like 500 by now.
Holy
it's so interesting to me, Dane, because you're, I don't want to give out your age. I don't know if your audience knows that.
But, no, they do. I'm 18. It's all right.
You're a young dude. But all these, the appreciation for the past that you have is incredible. I mean,
Yeah.
vinyls, your favorite attractions are Horizons and Wonders of Life, things you've never been on.
It's just my personality. I mean, I just like well, I'm not going to say that because it makes it sound that's going to be clipped, and I know Chris is going to clip that, and it's going to sound weird, so I won't say that. But I'm fascinated with the past.
Right.
So yeah, the record thing, and I'm a huge music fan, and I like physical music, so that's where the
you could kick my butt in any type of music trivia. I mean, when you were on when you were watching the Father's Day episode and we were asking Mary's dad all these questions, I couldn't tell you a Jethro Tull song. No way. I had no idea what the answer was, and here you are just pulling it up. I mean, it's extremely impressive, and it's one of the things that I love about you is just your appreciation for the past.
Yeah.
But the Disney collection started a couple days before I started the channel, because I was like, I had the idea for Big Beautiful Diz. I was thinking of it. I was like, but I need a background. I need somebody to like, not only to be looking at me, but I need something behind me. Cause I took inspiration from, actually in the early days, I took a lot of inspiration from, oh my God. The author, Hank Green, and his brother do a YouTube channel. I forget what it's called. But they do like school videos, like stuff you would watch in school, like math and reading and stuff like that. But I took a lot of inspiration from them, and they have this whole like set, and they have like a whiteboard behind them with like the whatever they're talking about written on it. They have like a computer set up. They have a desk. I was like, I need something like that. So what I did is the very messy IKEA desk that I've had for a very long time, I cleared that, and I put all the plushies on the front, and I put at the time I put the lightsabers there, and I put some stuff behind the wall, and that was it. And then eventually that's just evolved into something else with like Christmases and birthdays, and like just me wasting money. It's just evolved into what it is now.
Now, when you were on my podcasting program, here's the thing, man. You showed me that Walt Disney Funko Pop, with him being in black and white and everything.
Yeah,
and you told me specifically on that episode, it has not been released out to the public, and I'm like, where in the world did you get that, man? So my question is, where do you get all of your Funko Pops?
Where do I get my Funko Pop? Either from Amazon or from Funko.com. That particular one I got on an early release. So that I obviously didn't get on Amazon or Funko. But that's actually released today, I think.
Oh wow!
It's a really cool Funko Pop. It's for the Disney 100th. It's of Walt. That's the newest thing that I've got. I get stuff sent to me all the time.
That is awesome. Now here's my question, man. Like, so you know me and Scott very well. Here's the thing, man. Like, I am very tech savvy. All right. Now my question is, what is your setup? Like, what?
I did a whole video on my setup, so if you go earlier in my channel, I think it's called a tour. It's called a tour of my something like a tour of my setup. It might even be that simple. But it was 1 year ago exactly, because I know it was for the 3-year anniversary. So I have a Focusrite Scarlett. I have a Canon Rebel T7 that I use for videoing. This is a Xingyu microphone with a pop filter on it. My computer is a Dell computer. I mean,
there's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I have my laptop for when I go to Disney. My vlogging camera. I have a Rode microphone from my vlogging camera. It's all kinds of stuff.
So Dane, you just brought up vlogging, and I'm curious, how much of your trips do you vlog, and how much do you actually like spend time with your family? Because I could see your family getting kind of annoyed. Look, I went one day at Epcot drinking around the world with my family, and they got so aggravated at me. I said, "Look, I'm a content creator."
Damn
So
it.
what's your mix?
Yeah, it's a good question. Probably 60%, 60 to 70% is vlogged. I do take the nights off. I usually stop recording around, unless I meet one of you guys, I usually am done filming for the day around 5 or 6. I don't film everything. Like when I'm in the queues for rides, like I don't film any rides. All the ride footage I get is from YouTube, and like I put credit in the lower bottom for that kind of stuff. So I make a conscious effort to be on vacation. You know what I mean? Be in the now. But my family understands that I get paid to record. So they understand that stuff now, and I do try to balance it as best as I can. Yeah, I don't the funny story, actually, the cruise vlog, my family didn't know I actually recorded the cruise vlog. Because I was doing it when they weren't around. They knew that I was taking some video. They didn't really know what it was for, but when they watched all those videos, they were like, "I had no idea you took all this footage." I was like, "Yeah." So they don't get annoyed by it. I try to. I think I have a balance. And yeah, I would say 60% to 70 is vlogged and not vlogged.
Gotcha. Yeah, well, and it brings me to my next question, because I mean, you do some vlogs and all that, but I feel like that's not the main series of the Big Beautiful Disney channel.
No, it isn't.
You do have a wide range of Disney videos. You know, your icebergs, your histories.
Yeah, and that was because, honestly, I mean, I didn't know when I first started this. I didn't know what I wanted to hone in on and do exactly. And I've found that the story ofs do really good. So and I've kind of been known for that. But when I also put out a review, it will get 1,000 views or so. And when I put out a drum cover, it'll get a lot of views. When I put out a Dane interviews, it will put out a lot of views. So there's different things that will get me a lot of views, and I'm still a growing channel, so I haven't found that I don't think I will find a particular thing to only do. And I like having a variety. I like to put out a iceberg and, you know, one day, and then a top 7 one days, because I think of it as like the story of and icebergs are kind of the same but a little different, but fundamentally they're the same. I think of those as the nonfiction, and then I think of the top 7s and the top 5s as opinion pieces, and then the reviews are also opinion pieces, and don't really have anything fiction. I don't put out fiction videos. I should.
Yeah, no inaccurate news.
No.
So what would you say your main series is then?
Stories. Story of is my main, because those are the most videos that are on my channel to date. That series has had the most videos. So Story of I know it's my main series.
Dane, will you be doing another Met Tours video? I thought the Met Tours, the Wonders of Life Pavilion, it was so interesting. It was so neat.
The Met Tour, yeah. I've been asked this before. I feel like I need to give a definitive answer now, because before, whenever this has been talked about, I've been like, never say never. Maybe I will probably never do another Met Tours, because I don't want it to be a series. The whole point of that video is because I wanted to do something different when I cover Wonders, and doing. I mean, I know what I would do it on. I know which pavilion I would. I know what I would do the Land 94.
Okay.
Or I would do the Land 95 because you have food rocks in there. You have living. There's multiple things to talk about, like wonders. So I would do the land, but I feel like that would take away from the original purpose of the video. So I don't want it to turn into a series. But I have been talking to Bravo recently. Go watch the anniversary video.
Let's talk about broadcasting. What got you into, broadcasting? Who were your influencers on, broadcasting? Did you want to start broadcasting at an early age?
Oh,
or,
yeah.
Or right now, right here, right now?
I wanted to so this is going to be a long story, but we have time, so strap in. My mom has been a huge Howard Stern fan since the 90s.
Baba Booey, Baba Booey.
She would listen to the episode, and then one day, I don't remember this firsthand, but one day I asked her who it was, because it kind of I do remember it kind of being like there's somebody talking on a computer, what's this all about? And she was like, this is somebody on the radio on Sirius XM, and he talks, he talks to people and talks about things on the radio for a living. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. And then when I was a little bit older, I discovered a guy named Eddie Trunk, and he's a radio DJ. He's on Sirius XM, and what he did, very similar to Howard Stern. He took the calls. He played music as well, and he talked all about rock music, and it just blew my mind that this could be a career. This could be something that I could do. So I used to, again, I would imagine that I was radio DJ, and I used to make demos, if you could call them. And it was me as a really little kid talking. Probably when I was my early teens, I was doing this. I would record on some probably CD somewhere, and I would play music. And I would do the bumpers in between the music. And that really taught me, it self-taught me how to do transitions really well. And everything I do is self-taught. I once interviewed my dad on that show because he was in a band at the time. And now that I think about it, that interview was actually the first interview that I ever did. Funny enough. And so that taught me the basics. And then when I started Big Beautiful Diz, I already had a little bit information on how to do certain stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How to be a host of something, how to, even though I wasn't playing music, even though I didn't do the bumpers in between the music, it still was how to be a personality and how to have a host, be a host is the best way I can say it.
Right. So speaking of interviews, how did you Dane interviews itself? How did you come up with the idea for that? Kind of moving away from the story piece or the history piece.
Yeah.
Dane interviews is kind of a subset on its own, which is, I'm sure, why you moved it to its own channel. So tell me about the evolution of coming up with that.
Well, Dane interviews, it started in December 2019. I had an idea when I was listening to some podcast in 2019. What would that have been at that time? I think it would have been you, Remy. It was 2019. I think it was a podcast called Disney Doofs. They no longer do it. I haven't talked to those guys in a while.
Disney Doofs?
Yeah, it was buddies of mine. I haven't talked to them in forever. But they used to do a Disney news show. And they would bring guests on, And it dawned on me, like, why isn't there a show that instead of talking about the theme parks or Disney, we talk about the guest? Because like I really wanted to, I really, and to this day, love listening to interviews. It's fascinating to me to hear a person's story. So I was like, I'm gonna start this show, and it might be pretty successful. It has been, thankfully. And I was like, let's do it. So I interviewed my one of my best friends, Brendan. I interviewed him. It was like 25 minutes long. I uploaded the video, and it went really, really well. I was like, yeah, that's good. I like it. So I continued the series. On episode 4, I reached out to a guy that is my buddy now. But at the time, he wasn't. He didn't know me. I didn't know him. He had 100,000 subscribers. And that was the first big interview that I did. And that went really, really well. And in the first day, like at this point, I was not doing like the 100 views on the first day that I do now. So on the first day that video was uploaded, it did like 80 views. I was like, oh, this is so cool. And then I just had other guests on like Matthew Serrano, who did the Halix documentary that was big at the time. And like now that I have the new channel, because I decided to separate it to a new YouTube channel so I can grow out of just because the main idea was people who don't get interviewed all the time, let their voice be heard and for them to get interviewed, mainly in the Disney community.
Absolutely.
And I wanted to still have that, but start branching out so I could get more listeners. So that the new channel allows me to do that. If you go subscribe, if you haven't yet. But yeah, I'm working on a lot of really big interviews now. So that's the evolution of that series. It's just so when I look back on it, when I go back and listen to the interviews of like the first 3 episodes I did, it's like, wow, my interview style has changed so much, and it's just funny to look back at that kind of stuff.
So people are dying to hear your answer on this. I get asked this all the time from fans of yours. They write into me all the time. Will you ever re-upload the Disneyland Social Clubs video?
Please do, man. I even want to watch these videos, man.
So the Disneyland Social Clubs was a video that was up for 48 hours, if that. And I'm not even kidding. I have been asked this before. People want to see it. But that video was about the social clubs of Disneyland. The people that go around in like the biker, like the leather jackets and stuff, and they have these different clubs, and they name themselves like, I don't know. I think there's one called like Walt's Renegades or something like that. So they're pretty funny. So I did a video on them, and I found this lawsuit that happened in between some of the two clubs, and it was like somebody wanted to organize a charity event in Disneyland, and they got all the clearances to do it. Disney said, you're good to go. You can do this walk in the park and raise money. But some other club decided to tell them that they couldn't do it. And then it quickly turned into like violent, or I haven't read about it in a while, but I think it quickly turned to like the person of that was trying to do the walk was like getting threats or whatever, so they filed a lawsuit or something. And I told that story in the middle of the video, and some of the social club members saw it and got very upset with me telling that story, which I was like, I don't talk ill will of anybody. I don't give misinformation. I don't know why they got mad, but they did. So I decided to, I didn't want to piss anybody off more. So I decided to take down the video, and I was like, I'll re-upload it when this all passes. That video was 2 years ago now. So I don't really think I'm ever going to re-upload it, just to, it might make people upset. You never know.
So, Dane, you have a wide range of Disney videos. Now, my question is, what would you say your what is your top favorite Disney videos? Like, if you had to go back and rewatch all of Disney videos, I'm talking about it can be live action, it can be cartoon, it can be like old school, like Herbie the Love Bug.
Do you mean movie or one of my videos?
Oh no, I'm talking about movies. Like
movies. Okay. Movies. Well, that's actually good. I'll think about both of those questions, because the way that you phrased it, I thought you were talking about one of my videos. I will say my favorite video, and it's not going to be the Wonders one, because I say that all the time. I'll give one that isn't the Wonders one this time. But my favorite not only my favorite Disney movie, my favorite movie in general is a Goofy movie.
Thank you. Somebody is
I absolutely love a Goofy movie. It's not only my favorite Disney movie, it's my favorite movie of all time. My dog is literally named Roxanne. So,
oh, that's awesome.
But my favorite video that I've made, I always say it's the Wonders one, and it still is. But since I always say it's the Wonders one, I'll give a different answer this time. My Y2K video is up there.
Yes,
I really, really, really liked how the Y2K video came out.
Especially with
I'm gonna say my latest video, the Y2K video. I absolutely love the Y2K video.
Especially with all that editing you did.
Yeah.
For that video, I was like,
that took me almost a week to edit.
No, I was like,
really cool.
Yeah, I was like, how in the world did Dane make this video?
That took me the same amount of time to edit than it did the Wonders video. The Wonders and Y2K video took almost the same amount of time. Yeah.
Whoa.
Because I wanted to frame the countdown correctly. Anybody that watched that video, I take, not only do I talk about the countdown to midnight and like what happened, I show footage of what happened, and I use that to tell the story. So that was the reason it took so long to make.
You know what's so funny? Spoiler alert. I was hoping, and I knew that when the countdown got down to 0, the screen would go black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I knew that was coming, and it was perfect. It was perfect.
Yeah. I was thinking about doing like a lights off gag where like I would be talking about I would say something like whatever was in the script, and then all of a sudden the lights would go off in my studio, and then the camera would pan to my door, and my like whoever is like hands on the light switch and is like, oh sorry, and then turns it back on and like walks out. Just like some people, like I know my dad in the New Year's Eve turned off the lights in the basement when the clock hit midnight because of Y2K. So I was thinking about that, but I eventually settled on turning the screen black because it was a cliche thing to do, but I thought it would be funny. Speaking of it was the Y2K video, the Pleasure Island video I really like. That's another one that I'm absolutely in love with.
Good old Pleasure Island.
But those two are my favorites. I love.
On the flip side of that, which one is your least favorite video that surprised you with how well it did, and so you can't take it down?
My least favorite video that did well.
Yeah, your least favorite video that you just can't take down for whatever. It doesn't have to be because for whatever reason you can't take it down. Either it's part of a bigger story or it did well.
I'm gonna
least favorite
look
episode
at
that's still up there.
Yeah, because I didn't delete because I learned my lesson with the with the D-Rock videos. I unlisted my least favorite video that I have ever made. But the one that did did well that I'm not very proud of. Oh, I know what it was. It was the "Why Should I Worry" video. The drum cover. Every time I upload a drum cover, I'm always very worried that it's not going to do well because I'm always worried that the timing is off or something. Because I have to be very precise about those videos with like syncing up the drum and the video and the music. So I'm always very cautious, and I didn't think it was synced as well as it could have been, but I listen to it now and it's like it's right on time. So I'm not sure what my fear was, and that got 1,700 views. So it did pretty well.
Right. Okay. All right. It's we're coming up to the end of the NFL season because you're also a huge sports enthusiast.
Yeah.
Super Bowl predictions. Who's gonna be in it? Who's gonna win?
Either Bills, Eagles, or Bills 49ers. I don't believe that. I don't believe that Brock Purdy is going to lead them to a Super Bowl. I mean, he's playing amazing right now, no doubt about it, right? But like he is the last pick of the draft. He was the last pick of round 7. So like how awesome is he gonna keep playing? Like come on, he's gonna hit. Like he's not gonna be playing like this next year.
I'm sure they said the same thing about Brady. I'm sure they said the same thing about Brady.
I'm sure they did, but they also said that Mike White would be the Jets' replacement quarterback. So there's a lot more time that this kind of stuff happens, and especially this season. There's been a lot of storylines this season that have been too good to be true.
So
the first weekend of the playoffs was insane with all the comebacks and close games and whatnot.
Yeah. Oh, and did you see the NFL scriptwriters their acceptance speech, their Oscar acceptance speech?
Yeah, I did.
It was motivating.
Yeah.
So
go ahead, Remy. You raised your hand.
So Dane, one last question, sir. Now all of our podcasting family, we love you, man. You did a great job doing 4 years of your program, and
I can't believe it's
YouTube channel. Yeah, man. But here's my question: social media. Now, it's obviously had a major impact on your channel. Now, how did you use that to grow your channel, and how did you see an outcome with using social media, or did you have like a minor setback?
Well, let's go back to when I first created the channel. When I first created it, I actually came up with the name before I created the channel, because the name obviously is a big part of like marketing and social media, stuff like that. So the name, I had no idea what the name was going to be. I wanted to include Disney or Diz in there somewhere. So I was looked up an attractions list, and I was like, what could be like a play on words? And I got to carousel, and I just, like, from the corner of my eye, I saw Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow. And I said, Big Beautiful Disney would be a great name. So the original name was Big Beautiful Disney. And then I changed it when I created the merch, because I can't use Disney as when I'm selling things. Yeah. And when I'm monetizing now, I could get in legal trouble. So I had to change the name to Big Beautiful Diz, which I like a lot better. Actually, the original name was going to be Big Beautiful Diz, but I feared that, which is so funny now that I know him, but I feared that the Diz would get mad at me for using the Diz name, that it would be confused, which is so funny to look back on now that I know Pete. I actually asked him, I told him about that. I was like, I was worried that you were going to get, I was going to get in trouble for using the Diz name, Big Beautiful Diz. But again, the Diz is the the stock market, the trade value name. Anyway, so social media. I created the channel. I had the name. I made my first video 4 years ago today on January 20th. And then I actually left the channel. I didn't upload another video for like a month. I think the next video was like February 14th or something. And in that time, I created a Twitter account. And the Twitter account has quickly become a way for me to promote my things, because I met countless people. I've met, I mean, I know for a fact that half of my subscribers know me from Twitter, and I've built a huge following on Twitter. Not huge. I've grown a big following on Twitter. It's just, when I separate into a other account that I have, I decided that I would be like witty. I would have like witty tweets, because that's what would make me like popular. And or that's what would get me traction. If I like tweet something about Disney, like if a new news article comes out, I tweet something witty about it, that's going to generate likes. And that worked. And because of that, I've grown to 340 subscribers. So it's worked. And then I post on Instagram. I post my collection stuff, and I put a whole bunch of hashtags on there to get more followers and likes, and that's worked as well. So yeah, I try to use social media the best that I can, to grow my channel, and it's worked up to this point so far.
Well, Dane, before we go, I have a little surprise for you, and this is somebody who is a member of the Roundtable family, and she would like to say something to you, because she loves you, man, and she enjoys you on the program, to give me bust my balls every once in a while on the program, but she would like to say something to you, so just give her 1 second.
No problem. I think Remy has to turn on her mic. Here you go.
Hey, Dane, congratulations on 4 years.
Thank you so much, Jen.
You're welcome. Thank you for giving him hell. Thank you. Thank you and thank you for always getting everything right, and letting him know that he gets it wrong all the time. I appreciate it so much. It makes me
no problem,
warm
Jen.
in my heart.
No problem.
Congratulations.
Maybe I'll take you to a theme park sometime soon.
I don't like to go on any roller coasters. I really can't go on roller coasters anyway.
That's fine.
But well, nerve damage. Gotta love it. But yeah, I totally let's do it. I mean, somebody's got to take me one of these days.
That's true. Thank you so much, Jen.
You're welcome. Bye.
See ya.
All right. So 4 years of Big Beautiful Diz channel. What's coming up? What can your viewers and your fans be looking forward to in the upcoming year?
Well, I don't want to announce some stuff, because it's like, I mean, I've got most of this year already planned out, which is insane. But honestly, I think this is going to come out on the 28th, right? Hopefully. So soon I am going to start a new series. It's going to be like a music series, and it's going to be dissecting a particular Disney song or soundtrack, talking about like who was the composer, what was the scene, how does it contribute to the scene, just everything about a particular song or soundtrack, because I do like soundtracks a lot. So you can look forward to that series coming up very soon.
Well, Dane, I want to thank you for letting us host today. You guys can find myself on Remy's Roundtable. We're streaming everywhere, every single podcasting platforms, and of course, all on social media as well.
Yeah, Dane, it's been such an honor getting to know you over the past couple years. A huge accomplishment on the 4 years of doing the channel. It's amazing, and it's always funny to me, kind of how we all came together and met each other through completely different podcasts and just chatting on Twitch. So on and so on. I mean, it's just crazy, and I'm just so honored to call you a friend.
Yeah, it
You
is.
can
It really is crazy.
Go ahead. I interrupted you. I
No,
apologize.
I said it really is crazy how this whole this whole internet thing works. It's insane.
It is. It is. But you can find me on the No New Friends podcast, streaming everywhere. It's the podcast for adults who like to laugh at adulting. Just head over to nonewfriendspodcast.com. All of our links are there. Most importantly, the most important thing that you can do today is don't forget to leave a like on this video and consider subscribing to Big Beautiful Diz and the sister channel Dane Interviews, which is what you're listening to right now. So
yeah, and
subscribe to
you can find me. Oh wait, you're listening. Or forget it.
Subscribe to this channel, subscribe to the other channel, Big Beautiful Diz. And with that, thank you so much. Congratulations, Dane, and have a magical day.